Today on the Shaman Patrick Show, we're going to go back to basics a little bit. We're going to look at how to tell the universe what you like, how to tell the universe what you want. And let's go back to basics. I love going back to basics. Many of you already know this. I need a refresher on it. I think other people could use a refresher on it as well. And I love knowing that the universe will give me exactly what I want. Riffing off of yesterday's episode, How to Get Everything You Want, today we're going to thoroughly explore how to tell the universe what you like. We're also going to debut a new song by the Concrete Shaman. It's not actually a new song. Merrick wrote this song, and it was on our Christmas album, Merry Christmas from the Concrete Shamans. But we decided to reinvent it for AI, and it's really catchy and it's really fun, and I think you're going to enjoy it. So stick around to the end of the episode for that. But we're going to get started with this presentation after the opening credits. I'm ready for this one. Let's go.
He was once a storm in human form, sharp tongue, cold soul, heart worn and torn, living like a ghost who missed his grave till the spirit sang out and called him brave. He got rewired by the great unknown, heard the call like a dial tone to the bone. So pull up a chair, enjoy the glow. This is the Shaman Patrick Show.
I'm feeling some crone energy lately. I wouldn't say that I'm irritated, but at the same time, I've been through so much bullshit in my life that I'm not non-compassionate to people, but at the same time, it's like, come on, honey, your life is waiting. Your life is waiting for you. The more you complain, the more excuses that you give. I'm a no excuses person. I don't deal with excuses. I don't use excuses all that much, but I'm pretty much a non-excuses person. This is what you want, and this is what you get. That's a song. I think that's a song by Public Image Limited. Rise. Yeah, this is what you want, and this is what you get. And there are easy ways through this. There are easy, simple, non-complicated ways through this. And when I was deciding to do this whole separate channel, I said, what should I do? What would be a really good method of teaching and sharing and encouraging people? And, you know, I thought, do I get that standard whiteboard that people get? Do I sit in a room and just talk to people, or do I attempt to make it a little bit more exciting, a little bit more fun, a little bit more direct, with some curse words and also some current events every now and then? There's not really anything going on in the world worth talking about right now. So this lesson about how to tell the universe what you like, that's what it is. How to tell the universe what you like. And as that crone energy in me, you know, and I'm not speaking of anybody in particular here. It's just the complaining, the dissatisfaction that some people are having in their lives. Nobody that you would know. This is personal. You know, they want to complain to me, but they don't want to take any actions to change it. They want to stay the same. And it's very, very difficult to watch. And it's nobody I've ever talked about either. It's just very difficult to watch someone choose pain and suffering over easy healing. Easy. I mean, I've eaten enough shit sandwiches in my life that I am happy to have this refresher on how to ask the universe for exactly what you want. You can do it. Let's get started with today's presentation. How to tell the universe what you like and stop accidentally asking for bullshit. Many people accidentally ask for that bullshit. Did you know that you could speak to the universe? You could tell the universe exactly what you like, and you'll get what you like? But if you're receiving a lot of bullshit, maybe you just don't know how to ask in the right way. Maybe. You have more control over your life than you would think. You really, really do. First, let's get something straight. The universe is always listening, not sometimes, not when you're journaling or lighting a candle, always. Every thought, feeling, reaction, and yes, every complaint is a signal. Think of your life like a spiritual search engine. Whatever you click on emotionally, mentally, or energetically, the algorithm takes note. And just like YouTube, it will start feeding you more of it. And while we're talking about the algorithm, if you would like to support this channel, please like and subscribe, comment, or use an emoji if you've got nothing to say. Share this content with others, join this channel and support the work we do, and get access to members only videos and features. Thank you for watching and growing with us. So if you clicked on this video, you're going to get more videos like it. You probably found this video because you liked videos that were already like it. The algorithm is very pure in that way. And I think it's really cool because even though there's only like 325 people subscribed to this channel, we get a lot of views comparatively on these videos. It's wild. And I love knowing that what we're doing here is resonating with some of you, at least some of you, some of you. Some people might think, who the fuck is this? Who the fuck is this guy in black and white? Who does he think he is? So what you focus on grows. If you say, I'm so broke, I'm so tired of being alone, I can't stand this job, congratulations, you just told the universe, hi, I'd like more financial struggle, loneliness, and soul-sucking employment, please. Every time you repeat a grievance, you're emotionally bookmarking that frequency. You're strengthening the neural pathway and energizing it with your creative power. That's not manifestation. That's self-sabotage on autopilot. So sometimes you'll hear this cockamamie shit come out of people's mouth. Well, I will. They'll say, my job stresses me out. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. I get it. But what can you do to alleviate that stress? Do you have to set some boundaries? Do you have to tell people no? Do you have to leave people's cubicles who like to gossip? What can you do to make your job less stressful? And usually people won't do those things to make their job less stressful. It can be very difficult to realize that the stress, it comes from you. That you're speaking the stressful job into existence. And you say, well, Patrick, how do I do that? You expect me to ignore reality. Well, if you don't want your job to be stressful, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. Provided there are no other things going on. Like I used to work in an office. Let me tell you this story. I used to work in an office and I was scared to go to work. I would stress out about going to work. And while I was at work, I just worked in an office. There was a graphic designer there. I was an implementation specialist. It was a very small office. We did have an insane narcissistic office manager, but at the same time, she was crazy and nobody paid attention to her anyway. But at the same time, I was just working at an office and no one ever sat me down to tell me that. Like my job, if I look back at it now, my job was not that stressful. It wasn't. I sat at a computer. I played with the computer programs. I loved working that job. The office manager made it difficult, but if I could go back in time and realize that it was no big deal. It was no big deal. I just work in an office. They paid me really well for what I did back then. It was the highest paying job I'd ever had. It was like, why did that job have to be stressful for me? It didn't. Does anybody out there know what might have made that job stressful? Ego. Yeah, here I had a cush job working in an office. living in Nashville, Tennessee, a 26-year-old cute twink. I mean, I had a lot of stuff going on for me, but my job was so stressful. It was so stressful. You know, everybody has to put up with bullshit in their life. I thought I shouldn't have to put up with bullshit. I made that job very stressful for myself. Man, I wish I could talk to my younger self. Maybe I can. But in hindsight, we can often look back at things that we made a certain way. Like if you say, I don't like arguing with my parents, you will find yourself arguing with your parents a lot. I mean, I wish it was another way. Like it would be nice to say, I don't like arguing with my parents. But see, the universe don't hear it that way. There is no word for no in the universe. The word for no in the universe is nothing. There is no word for no. So you may as well be saying, I like arguing with my parents. I like getting into traffic. I like having people scam me. I like having people lie to me. I like people gaslighting me. Oh God, I can hear myself talking to myself right now because I have been complaining about gaslighters and liars and stuff like that. So it's no surprise when those kinds of things start showing up in your life because the universe responds to your thoughts, your feelings, emotions, and most especially what you say. Now, this is called unconscious creation. And let's talk about how to break that cycle. The world is run by unconscious people who don't realize their power and are terrified of yours. If you're waking up, you're ahead of schedule. Most people are still spiritually sedated by propaganda, social pressure, and survival mode. And I think it's important to make your peace with that. Most people are propagandized. Most people are brainwashed against their own best interest. We saw this in 2020. We saw people doing things that weren't in their best interest. I see people today doing things that are not in their best interest. I see people on the side of the road with a cardboard sign saying, homeless, please help. And all they have to do is get sober and change their mind, but they can't do that. They would rather hold that cardboard sign. I mean, I know this because I chose that life and then I just simply unchose it. So when you kind of break your identification with the ego and the mind, you start to see things a lot differently. And I don't know how many times I have to say this, that I don't think I'm better or unique. But at the same time, the ability to see through the bullshit, it's that crone energy. You see through the bullshit. Like you get a finely tuned bullshit meter. You know when people are living in bullshit because you yourself used to live in bullshit. You know, I said earlier, I'm not an excuse person, but I used to give a lot of excuses. I used to give a lot of excuses about why things weren't the way they are and blah, 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 and all that stuff. But I don't think excuses ever really helped me. And when people give me excuses, I'm like, come on. You're a divine being in a human body having a human experience that you chose to have. What are you making an excuse for? What are you making an excuse for? You are strong. You are capable. You are brilliant. You are talented. What's got you so damn confused about it all? It's the unconscious people in the world. This is an unconscious world. And if you're waking up to that fact or have woken up to that fact, you're not going to find that many peers. You're not going to find that many peers. But your life will start to take on this quality of truth. It's kind of hard to explain. I'll get into that later. But not you, you're the prison break. And when you start waking up, don't be shocked by the resistance, the jealous, the envious, the subtle saboteurs. They're running ego software that hates seeing someone get free. But guess what? You don't need their approval. You need your clarity. And that's what that quality is. the clarity. You're no longer seduced by shiny things. You're no longer seduced by opportunities that sound too good to be true, and they probably are. You get this sober clarity, and you see things for what they are. And for those of us who see through that bullshit, it's very difficult to explain it to people who don't even know. You know, a few episodes ago, we did the hidden reality, and you access that hidden reality. You access base reality, the reality that's there underneath all that propaganda, underneath all that brainwashing. And I don't want you to get the idea that it's lonely or that it lacks fun. I mean, it's work to get there. I'm not there 100% of the time, but when I am there and I'm present and I'm wonderful, it's like it was all worth it. Breaking those illusions, breaking those delusions. But remember this, the world is run by unconscious people. And Abraham Hicks talks about this, that one person in spiritual alignment is more powerful than 1,000,000 people. Think about that. So if you come into spiritual alignment, and here's, I'm going to define spiritual alignment this way. When you, God, and your inner being all agree, when you're all on the same page about something, things get really easy when you, God, and your inner being, who you really are, is on the same page. Like, yes, let's do this. Yes, let's do this. This has to be done. Like, it has to be done. And it's effortless. And it's like, I have sat down to make things like card decks and books and things like that. And being in a spiritual alignment, the shit just flows out of me. It just flows out of me. And that's because God agrees, I agree, and my inner being agrees. And furthermore, let me add another layer of this. The universe agrees. The universe agrees with this. That's spiritual alignment. And it's such a profound feeling when that happens, when everything just lines up. You're in the right place at the right time. Opportunities come, opportunities go. People enter your life, people leave your life. I mean, I've been so present at certain times in my life that I can actually see people or sense them waiting in the wings as they come on stage and leave the stage and fucking dematerialize. You get like, it has to be revealed to you. It has to be revealed to you. Some of you out there have probably had similar experiences. Like, it's enter stage left. Oh, hi. Do you know what I'm talking about? Someone stumbling in this and like going, are you on drugs? No, bitch, I'm sober. I'm so sober. I've come back around again and I'm high. It's so fun. It's so fun. It's so fun. It is so fun. But when you learn how to talk to the universe, when you get really clear about what you like from the universe, you'll get the cheat codes. Some people might think that do like inner work, that sounds like a lot of work. Shadow work, man, that sounds like work. I don't want to work. I want to play. I don't want to dig deep. I just want to exist. I just want to work a job and come home and have a beer and zone out in front of the TV. And that kind of life actually is very hard work because you're always reacting, you're always involved in some sort of drama, or you're just zoned out. You're not living your life. That's kind of a living death. It is a living death. I mean, I know this because I used to live that way. Yep. I went through a breakup and then I put a mattress on my floor in the living room and watched the entire season. No, all of the seasons of Sex and the City while crying and drinking beer. And I thought I was healing. I thought I was grieving. I wasn't doing anything but wrapping myself up in bandages with barbed wire and bits of glass and all that kind of stuff. But you get the cheat codes when you learn that inner work is necessary and that confronting your shadow will lead to your freedom, and questioning your beliefs, that's the real alchemy. You're earning the keys to the kingdom. The gold everyone thinks is fame or money is actually freedom, clarity, and connection. And yes, that often brings the outer abundance too, because truth is easier to manifest than lies. Truth is easier to manifest than lies. And how you get to appreciating the truth, I was raised in an alcoholic home. I never knew anything true. My dad lied, my mom lied, my aunts and uncles lied. Everybody lied about everything. And as a young person being raised in lies like that, everything was hard. Things were hard for my parents. Things were hard for my aunts and uncle. People had hard lives because they were living in lies. Everybody in my family hated each other. And they hated each other because no one was ever real with anybody. And so as a youngster, as a teenager, I became obsessed with conspiracy theories and Bigfoot and Bermuda Triangle. I wanted to solve mysteries. I wanted mysteries to be solved. And I became obsessed with knowledge and knowing things. Unconsciously, of course, because everything around me was utter chaos and illusions and delusions and fights and all of this fake, false stuff. A very difficult life to maintain if it's a world of lies. Very difficult. But when you live in truth, things get simpler. You don't hang out with people who don't like you. You don't hang out with people that you don't like. You don't watch things you don't like. You don't sit at a table with somebody who's gaslighting you and criticizing you and making you feel bad, and you're just sitting there in your chair, just slumping down, feeling so small. When you live in truth, you say, shut the fuck up or I'm out of here. That's living in truth. Life gets so much easier when you're living in truth. And a side effect of that is when you live in truth, it's a buffer between you and shenanigans. Like if people know that you're blunt and you're truthful, they will not come to you with cockamamie bullshit. They just won't. And when people know they can't lie to you anymore, they won't talk to you anymore. But see, you might think that you will, that fame and money and all of that is something worth working towards. The irony is you can get that stuff through hard work. You could work hard. You could work 80 hours a week. You could go on all those auditions and get the big budget movie role. You can amass great wealth the hard way, or you could do it the easy way, which is clarity, connection, and learning to ask the universe for exactly what you like, what you want. And it's just that in our culture, the people who have amassed great wealth think that they might have figured something out, but they had to work really hard to get it. Meanwhile, there are other people who followed the truth, clarity, connection route. They too amassed great wealth. Who's right and who's wrong? That's an interesting conundrum, isn't it? But see, sometimes if somebody amasses great wealth through clarity and connection, they might be considered lucky. And someone who manifested great wealth through hard work, sacrifice, all that kind of stuff, they may never understand what clarity is, what connection is, or what freedom is. They might be chained to that money. So before you manifest your big pile of money, which would you rather manifest it through? Clarity, connection, and freedom, or through hard work, sacrifice, and pain and suffering? For many of us, it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both. But it doesn't have to be. And when you learn to ask the universe what you like, when you learn to tell the universe what you like, you align with truth. The universe moves faster. False lives take more work to maintain. True lives take surrender. And surrender, that's kind of a dirty word for some people. What do you mean? What am I surrendering to? What am I surrendering to? What am I surrendering to? But, you know, even my husband and I cannot have people in our life that we cannot be honest with. Because for us, we have to live in honesty. We have to live in honesty. Because if we start being dishonest, we'll lose our recovery. We'll lose our manifestation abilities. It'll just drop right out. And I think having, you know, family members in our life that we couldn't be honest with was very destructive to us. Very destructive, because things are slower. Things happen slower when you are being dishonest. They do. They take a whole lot of time when you're not able to be honest with yourself or other people. I wish it was another way. I wish that you could somehow lie your way to freedom, connection, and clarity, but you can't. To manifest things and to have the universe give you what you really want, you have to tell the truth to the universe, because the truth can tell if you're lying. It sure can. So how do you tell the universe what you like? Here's the new protocol. Start clicking on what you want more of. Speak it. I love the feeling of peace after a deep truth lands. Have you ever heard me go, Whenever I hear something that hits me right here, I'm like, I love that feeling after a deep truth lands. You can also say, I feel so supported when I trust life. You can also say, I enjoy meaningful conversations. You can also say, it feels amazing when I'm creatively lit up. See how you speak that? You just speak it. Say it with me. It feels amazing when I'm creatively lit up. I feel so supported when I trust life. And you can feel it. Amplify the energy of what feels right. Don't fake it. Just tune into the real things you genuinely love. The warmth of the sun, a small win, a quiet moment. That's a click. So what do you feel like clicking on right now? A good feeling? A nice cup of tea? Cold water? A cool haircut? Yeah, it's very puffy. I don't know when it's very puffy. I'll get used to it. It may not be puffy the more I mess with it, but she layered it and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know how to style it. But see, look at me. Look at me. I love puffy hair. I love my hair cut. It's interesting, unique, and suited to me, and messy in just the right ways. I love, what else do I want to click on? I love being able to find my reading glasses whenever I need them. I love being able to just reach out and find my reading glasses. I love everything. I love a computer that works well. I love a YouTube channel that is halfway to getting monetized. What do you want to click on? What do you want to click on in your life? Isn't it wonderful? Follow it. Take inspired actions that move you toward those energies. Let your life be curated by integrity and resonance, not fear and reaction. I love this. I love everything. Like, have you gone through your house and just loved everything you had instead of complaining about what you don't have? Because if you complain about things that you don't have, you'll just get more stuff that you need to have. You'll be in a constant state of wanting. I wish it was another way. I wish that because the unconscious people in the world have taught the opposite. They've taught us the opposite of how things work in this reality. We were taught to discount the power of our thoughts. We were taught that we could fake it and make it, which you can in some things. You can pretend, except when it comes to doing this deep inner work. and shadow work and stuff like that. You actually have to get in there. You actually have to get in there and get it done and make it happen for yourself. You actually have to get in there and do it. It won't be done for you unless you get amnesia or have a lobotomy or cut your head off in some way. But then you won't live through that. So you may as well just get in there and do that inner work. You may as well. Why delay? Look, this is the most exciting time to be a human being alive on this planet, or flat earth plane, whichever version of reality that you live in. Did you know that you don't have to go anywhere to do deep inner work or shadow work or anything like that? It's as simple as clicking on a video about it. This is the greatest time in human history. There is no excuse for anybody to not do inner work. There is no excuse from anybody to not heal from anything. I mean, you can get therapy on your phone now. Like, and with AI tools coming, you can talk to an AI chatbot about life and reality if that's what you want to do. There is no excuse to not do inner work. There's no excuse to not want to at least live the best life that you possibly can from a healed place. There's no excuse. And I'm saying this because I used to give those excuses. I used to tell people, you don't understand. You don't understand. I'm such a unique person that what works for other people won't work for me. I know things may have worked for millions of other people, but I'm so special and unique that things won't work for me. So when people tell me, Patrick, you don't understand. Patrick, you don't understand. We need an ego. You don't understand, Patrick. I know you've been researching ego for over a decade. And I know you've helped lots of people with their ego issues. And you've also worked on ego in yourself, but you don't understand. We need an ego. The ego has to exist. You don't understand. So I get it when people tell me that. It's called terminal uniqueness. It is terminal uniqueness. I myself used to think I was terminally unique and what worked for other people wouldn't work on me. No. I have unique problems, you see. But if you do enough shadow work on yourself, you'll see that we're all pretty much the same. Thank God. We have the same issues going on pretty much. Thank God. There are easy, clear, concise ways to cut through the noise and the bullshit to achieve anything we want. We don't have to stay traumatized. We don't have to stay sick. Other people have gone through what we're going through. Oh my God. What a concept. And for those of you who still think we need an ego, you know, the cover of our book, it's a searing takedown of humanity's greatest threat. It is. So if you still think we need humanity's greatest threat, then humanity will not survive the ego. The ego wants you dead. And if you want to get a copy of that book, it's available on our website right now. Go to concreteshamans.com, get it, read it, and wake the fuck up. But other people have gone through exactly what you are going through. Thank God. Could you imagine that if we had to stumble through life blind without experienced people who blazed the trail for us? Can you imagine? We'd all just be, we wouldn't get anything done. We wouldn't get a damn thing done at all. I love the fact that there's people more experienced and knowledgeable about me than almost everything. Almost everything. Here, let me give you a statistic. The smartest person in the world knows way less than 1% of total human knowledge. But I've met some really smart people, yo. I've met some geniuses. I have been so lucky to have met so many just masters of spirituality, spiritual masters who have read a couple books about it, and they're golden. They're fine. They don't need to do more inner work, you see? They don't have to do this stuff. That's for other people. Oh, no, I'm fine. Yes, I do yell at my wife in public from time to time, but I'm fine. Oh, yeah, my kids aren't talking to me, but I don't, it has nothing to do with me. I'm fine, you see. Anybody know those masters with serious life issues going on? Yeah. But of course I'm joking. Of course I'm making fun of all of that. But we do have to watch out for those feelings of superiority. If we start to think that we're better or worse than anybody else, the universe isn't going to like that. We're going to lose it. We're going to lose the edge that we had by being honest, because of course that's not being honest. When someone claims I've reached the end of working on myself. I've reached the end of it. I mean, I've never had a mentor. I've never worked a 12-step program. I've never went to therapy. But why would I need to work on anything? There's no problems here. There's just no problems. And that's a lie. That's a lie. Most families in America are dysfunctional. So when, I don't trust people who've never really examined themselves, or at least wanted to know if their beliefs were messed up, or if they might be believing something that's not true. I don't trust people who've never made mistakes, who've never failed, who've just succeeded at everything, and everything has always gone their way, and they've never. I don't trust people like that. Something's up with that. Either they've made a deal with the devil, or they're lying. They're lying. Everybody has a difficult time in this reality. Everybody does. So I'm going to go to this next slide. Treat your life like a feedback loop. Every emotion, every pattern, every repeat situation, that's data. If you hate it, don't fight it. Just stop clicking. Don't vent it to 10 friends. Don't stew in it for days. Don't make an identity out of it. Ask, what am I telling the universe I want more of right now? Then pivot, not with force, but with clarity and commitment. And I'm able to shift my thinking with this, and maybe you guys can shift your thinking as well. Like, this groove of not enough money came from my parents, and the groove of not enough money came from Merrick's parents. So you're never going to have enough money. You're never going to have enough money. You're never going to have enough money. So in times of stress, you default to what you learned in childhood. If you're stressed, you automatically go back to those core beliefs that you learned in childhood. And so whenever I'm thinking that, I know that I'm something must be screwy. I'm back with that childhood belief system. There's never enough money. There's never enough money. And I'll shift myself and say, there's plenty of money. There's plenty of money. It comes from a false belief that my parents taught me in childhood. The same with my husband. He and I are like, oh God, oh God, oh God. Here comes those childhood beliefs again. Oh my God. They may have applied when I was a child. Like, as a child, I may have wanted that Super Deluxe Millennium Falcon toy. I may have wanted that Star Wars toy that cost $70. And my mother said, there's not enough money for that. She might have been telling me the truth. When I wanted a Super Nintendo, there's not enough money for that. She may have said there's not enough money to shut us up. But when you tell a child there's never enough money, they grow up thinking there's never going to be enough money. And as an adult, it's very hard to shift out of. And thinking like that will make a person broke. It'll make you broke if you allow that kind of shit into your brain and into your life. You got to be really rich to have that kind of attitude, because that kind of attitude will drain your bank account. You got to have a lot of money to burn to have those negative beliefs about money. You do. I mean, I myself have hung out with rich people. I went broke hanging out with rich people because they have enough money. They can be negative. They can be complaining. They can be hateful. They have a backlog of money, so they can be as nasty as they want to be. I'm just a normal person. I have to be kind of in alignment, if you know what I mean. But man, oh man, I went broke hanging out with rich people. It was wild. Complaining, mean, hateful. Not all rich people, but just the ones I hung out with. But man, they have the luxury to be able to look out into the world and see everything wrong with it. So treat your life like a feedback loop. Do it. Do it. What do you want the universe? What are you telling the universe that you want more of right now? And you know, when I was talking about hanging out with those rich people, I saw that they were complaining about things and that certain things were happening in their life, and they said they didn't want those things to happen. It's crazy, but I can't hang out with people who are negative about money, about life, people who are pessimistic, people who are, and here listen to me, I'm saying it, I can't hang out with people who are like that, but I'm probably going to have to hang out with people. Let me reframe this. I love hanging out with optimistic people. I love hanging out with people who have open beliefs about money and abundance. I love hanging out with lovely people, because the more you enjoy people, the more you're going to be finding enjoyable people. Thank you, spirits, for sorting that out for me. Thank you for that. But I got a final thought for you today. The universe is a genie without a filter. It doesn't judge your request. It delivers based on frequency, not worthiness. So if you're tired of what's showing up, stop blaming the world and start rewriting your energetic search history. Clean up your mind, clean up your emotions. Tell the universe what you actually like, and then click, 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 like your life depends on it, because it does. You know what I like right now? Some cold water. So it's up to you. Are you going to be able to tell the universe what you like from now on? Are you going to try to speak only what you want and tell the universe what you like instead of complaining? It's a very difficult shift to make. And like I said before, I'm not there 100% of the time. But if I become aware that I'm complaining or that I'm doing something that is not beneficial for myself, generally I can shift the thinking to that. And again, unless I'm hanging out with somebody who sees life so very differently, especially if somebody is trying to prove me wrong on all this. Can you believe it? Can you believe it that somebody would try to prove these easy processes wrong? Could you believe it? All right, so it's come to the time in the episode where I will say goodbye to you until tomorrow. To take us out on this episode is our song, What You Like. And we made this with AI. Merrick wrote the lyrics. He wrote it a few years ago now. He wrote the lyrics and the music, and we put it into AI, and it's like a singer and a studio made the song. It's catchy. It's an earworm. And by the end of the song, you will be able to tell the universe what you like. All right. I will see you tomorrow. I love you so much. Please have a wonderful day. Mwah.
Tell me what you like, what you really like. Are you the guy for me tonight? Tell me what you like, what you really like. We could ride on the bus or even on a bike. Tell me what you like, what you really like. I wanna know, I gotta know. Tell me what you like, please tell me what you like. Do you even like anything at all? Yeah, I like it over here. I like the scent in here. I like the feel of your hair. Tell me what you like, what you really like. Do you like how my skin shines in the light? Tell me what you like, what you really like. Do you like it loose or do you like it tight? what you really like. Tell me what you like, what you really like. Tell me what you like, what you really like. Tell me what you like, what you really like. I like cool long walks at night. I like fresh coffee after an afternoon delight. So many things I like. What about you? What you like? Tell me what you like, what you really like. I came for fun, would you like to have some? Tell me what you like, what you really like. I think we should stay up all night. Tell me what you like, what you really like. Tell me what you like, what you really like. Tell me what you like, what you really like. Tell me what you like, what you really like. Tell me what you like, what you really like. Tell me what you like, what you really like. Tell me what you like, what you really like. Tell me what you like, what you really like.